In the first high-level bilateral engagement with the Taliban regime, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri met Afghanistan Acting Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi in Dubai. Mr. Misri's meeting is an upgrade, signalling high-level official engagement from the Indian government. Donald Trump has asked the Supreme Court to block criminal proceedings in his hush money case in New York, with a sentencing hearing scheduled for Friday. According to a Bloomberg report, the Biden administration plans one additional round of restrictions on the export of artificial intelligence chips from the likes of NVIDIA. Donald Trump's interest in controlling Greenland could have ramifications for global shipping and China's Arctic calculations, as per experts. Beijing has boosted investment in Greenland in recent years, including mining operations. The United Kingdom is braced for an icy blast, with temperatures set to plummet as low as minus 16 degrees Celsius as a fresh amber snow warning has been issued. Well, our big focus. In an unusual move, President-elect in the US, Donald Trump, has asked the Supreme Court to call off Friday's sentencing in his hush money case in New York. Trump's lawyers turned to the nation's highest court after New York courts refused to postpone the sentencing by Judge Juan Merchan, who presided over Trump's trial and conviction last May on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. Trump has denied wrongdoing, and Trump's team sought an immediate stay of the scheduled sentencing, saying it would wrongly restrict him as he prepares to take office in a few days. While the judge has indicated he will not impose jail time, fines or probation, Trump's lawyers argued a felony conviction would actually still have intolerable side effects. Natasha Israni joins us live from New York at the moment with the latest lowdown. Natasha, what details can you disclose currently?
Well, we do know that we're likely to hear from the Supreme Court as early as tomorrow, which is Thursday here, because there is the pressure to come out with this result sooner rather than later, given that the sentencing was scheduled for Friday. Now, if the Supreme Court comes out in favor of Donald Trump, then the sentencing of Friday will be delayed. Now, a Supreme Court stay could effectively end the case altogether at the moment, because remember, once Donald Trump is sworn in on January 20th, he's immune from prosecution as a president. So this case really is testing the boundaries of presidential immunity, what it covers. Does it cover president-elects? Does it cover former presidents? It's really being watched carefully for people also watching democracy carefully here in the United States, because last year in July, when the Supreme came out and expanded presidential immunity, there were also a lot of Supreme Court judges who dissented with that agreement, with that ruling, who dissented and warned of this giving too much power to presidents. So this case is being watched carefully, not just for Donald Trump, but also for the precedents that it's setting for immunity for presidents here in this country.
Natasha, as always, thanks so much for joining us with the latest details. Staying with updates from the United States, multiple wildfires were consuming acre after acre and building after building in the Los Angeles area, displacing tens of thousands of people and ravaging entire neighborhoods. As strong winds and a dwindling water supply has actually caused firefighters' efforts to stop the destruction much harder. More than 1,000 structures have burned, making it the most destructive in the Los Angeles history. According to Cal Fire, this is what the State Fire Emergency Department has said. And it is also among the top 20 most destructive fires ever in California, based on the number of structures that have already been destroyed. Just take a look at the dramatic visuals that are playing out on your screens. Many have made harrowing escapes from California by car, on foot. The toll of the quick-moving fires was only beginning to take shape, but 5 people have died. This is what a spokeswoman for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department has confirmed. More than 25,000 acres have burned, raising at least 1,000 buildings. As glowing embers floated through the sky, as you can see on your screens, like a swarm of disoriented lighting bugs, and thick black smoke turned day into night. As of Wednesday afternoon, I must inform you, 1.5 million customers were out of power, according to Power Outage. That's the US tracker. My colleague Vishnu Shom joins us with the lowdown on how bad the situation actually is in LA.
For the last 24 hours, the greater Los Angeles area has seen record fires in terms of the intensity in this area. 5 fires at least in close proximity to the center of Los Angeles itself. We've got fires at Palisades, at Eaton, at Hearst, and there's a fire at Woodley as well. And there are other smaller fires as well. At the moment, there are upwards or close to 70,000 people who have been ordered to evacuate their homes. Fortunately, the loss of life at this stage has been relatively small. 5 people have lost their lives, but there is a sense that damage which has occurred as a result of these fires is very, very extensive, possibly in the billions of dollars. It's very windy, and that's a central problem over here. Behind me is downtown Los Angeles and larger parts of Los Angeles, and what you see is not a cloudy day. In fact, it's smoke from the fires that I've been talking about. And to tell me a little bit more about what I'm looking at, Vishnu Menon, my namesake, he's into private equity, quite a legend in his own right over here. We are in the Hollywood area at Beverly Hills. Tell me a little bit about, let's walk this way, shall we? And just to give our viewers an idea of the spread of the fires and what you were describing to me, just give me an idea of what it is that we're seeing.
Sure. So you're looking over the Los Angeles basin. You're probably looking from east to west, about a 25-mile span from downtown to the ocean.
Yeah.
And from north to south, another 25 miles down to the Palos Verdes Peninsula from the Pacific Ocean. The fires from the east are blowing out south of us over downtown, which is creating that very overcast horizon towards the southeast from here. The Palisades fires are to our west, and they're luckily blowing out towards sea, which is why the smoke from them doesn't reach us. But on our far horizon, you can see licks of flames and dark smoke coming up from those hills.
California firefighters are facing an intense battle against fast-moving wildfires ripping through Los Angeles. Homes are destroyed, roads are choked with evacuees, and emergency crews are stretched to the breaking point as the crisis deepens. Sparked by a combination of dry conditions and powerful winds, the wildfire has forced tens of thousands to flee their home as authorities claim there is no possibility of bringing the fire under control. In the frantic haste to get to safety, roadways became impassable when scores of people abandoned their vehicles and fled on foot. In the Altadena area, flames are swallowing entire neighborhoods, leaving nothing but rubble in their wake. And now, hundreds of thousands of residents across Los Angeles County are in the dark as power outages continue to spread. A separate inferno tore through Pacific Palisades, scorching 3,000 acres and sending up a dramatic plume of smoke visible across Los Angeles. The Eden fire has destroyed 1,000 acres, and the Hearst fire has affected about 500 acres. As the firestorm continues to rage with no containment and no end in sight, officials fear the worst is yet to come. Samia Afsar, NDTV World.
Well, the frequency and size of wildfires have increased worldwide over recent decades, and new research actually found exposure to wildfire smoke is more harmful than previously thought. We'll keep tracking the latest as far as LA is concerned. For now, let me also bring you up to date. Donald Trump has escalated his expansionist rhetoric, saying he wouldn't rule out using military coercion to take control of Greenland or the Panama Canal. Trump has issued threats against several US partners. He floated using economic force to annex Canada, though officials in Canada have staunchly pushed back. He also proposed renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. He pushed it a little by also posting a map, an own version of his, that claimed that staked claim to Canada. Well, take a look at the recent developments that Trump has made.
This is not the new map of the United States. This is another instance of Donald Trump hinting that Canada could be taken into US territory. Sending shockwaves across the globe, the map shows the whole of Canada as part of the US. The US-Canada boundary is the world's longest between two countries. It was established in treaties dating back to the founding of the US in the late 1700s. Trump claimed the US spends billions of dollars protecting Canada, while criticizing imports of Canadian cars, lumber, and dairy products.
As you said you were considering military force to acquire Panama and Greenland, are you also considering military force to annex and acquire Canada?
No, economic force. Because Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada.
Canadian leaders have so far showed a united front against Trump's rhetoric, with outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau saying there's no chance Canada would become part of the US. Opposition leader Pierre Poilievre took to X, saying that Canada will never be the 51st US state.
You know something, to the president, I'll make him a counteroffer. How about if we buy Alaska and we'll throw in Minnesota and Minneapolis at the same time?
The rhetoric in the Trump camp doesn't stop with US President-elect. One of his closest advisors, Elon Musk, has trained his sights on Europe, setting off alarm bells across the continent. He's endorsed the far-right party Alternative for Germany, demanded the release of jailed UK anti-Islam extremist Tommy Robinson, and called UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer an evil tyrant. Musk's online behavior has become a cause of concern for many, from politicians to analysts.
He's clearly started to use that platform a bit like, an old-style newspaper mogul would in days of old, increasingly started to assemble a group of different right-wing influencers, many of them with large followings, and presenting their evidence as a basis for his interventions into European politics, whether it's Germany.
These recent statements from the Trump team have ruffled many feathers and created a lot of anxiety. Trump seems to also have his eyes on Greenland and the Panama Canal. All eyes now on the 78-year-old to what steps he would take to fulfill his extraordinary promises. With Vishal Vivek, Bureau Report, NDTV.
Meanwhile, the US Justice Department has said that it intends to release Special Counsel Jack Smith's findings on Donald Trump's efforts to undo the results of the 2020 presidential election, but will keep under wraps for now. The rest of the report focused on the president-elect's hoarding of classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate. The revelation was made in a filing to a federal appeals court that was considering a defense request to block the release of the two-volume report, while charges remain pending against two Trump co-defendants in the Florida case accusing the Republican former president and current president-elect of illegally holding classified documents. And according to a new Bloomberg report, President Joe Biden's administration plans one additional round of restrictions on the export of artificial intelligence chips from the likes of NVIDIA just days before leaving office. This is what a final push in his effort to keep advanced technologies out of the hands of China and Russia actually looks like. The US wants to curb the sale of AI chips used in data centers on both a country and company basis, with the goal of concentrating AI development in friendly nations and getting businesses around the world to actually align with American standards. From the US, let's get you a quick update from Canada now, where Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc has actually decided not to run for leadership of the Liberal Party, saying he needs to focus on countering the threat of tariffs from Donald Trump's administration. Leblanc said he's grateful for the expressions of support from Liberal lawmakers as well as members from across the country, but won't be a candidate in this upcoming race. In other crucial news, a high-level meeting between the Afghan Taliban leadership and senior Indian officials was organized in Dubai. From India, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri attended the meeting, while from Afghanistan, the acting foreign minister of the Taliban government, Amir Khan Muttaqi, was present. Now, you must note that it was not just a meet and greet sort of a meeting, as it covered a range of issues, which includes India's security concerns in Afghanistan, the need for India to consider engaging in development projects in the near future, Delhi's humanitarian assistance, including support for rehabilitation of Afghan refugees from Pakistan, the use of Iran's Chabahar port for accessing the conflict-ridden country, as well as cricketing ties between the two countries. All this made it to the agenda. And with that, let's turn our attention now to the United Kingdom, which is braced for an icy blast, with temperatures set to plummet as low as minus 16 degrees Celsius, as a fresh amber snow warning has been issued. Snow and sleet began to hit southern England, as the amber alert came into force, with the Met Office saying further warnings are likely to be issued as the week goes on. But the Met Office has also warned of travel disruption caused by the snow, and also said that some vehicles and passengers could become stranded. So a fair warning for you there. By the way, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Kemi Badenoch clashed over whether there should be a national inquiry into child sexual abuse by grooming gangs. The Prime Minister says there are mixed views among victims about further inquiries, and what we need now is action rather than another inquiry. But a world-first sanctions regime which specifically targets people smugglers will be introduced by the government this year. This is what the UK is expected to announce. The Foreign Secretary will confirm the measure in a speech today, saying it is part of Labour's plan to reduce channel crossings by targeting criminal networks organising these specific journeys. But as analysts have highlighted, it is not clear what the sanctions could look like, but the government said that it would starve smuggling gangs of illicit finance fueling their operations. But if it works like other sanctioned regimes, this could mean that asset freezes on those suspected of people smuggling, with breaches of the measures punishable by up to 7 years in prison.
This morning I met some of the victims and survivors of this scandal, and they were clear with me that they want action now, not the delay of a further inquiry. The J inquiry, the last national inquiry, was 7 years, which would take us with a further inquiry to 2031. I think action is what's required. Mr. Speaker, this is an important issue, and we have to focus on the victims and survivors, and it isn't helpful. This sort of lies and misinformation and slinging of mud doesn't help them one bit. Doesn't help one bit.
In other news, the big question is, will Lebanon finally elect a president after a 2-year vacuum? Well, Lebanon's parliament is set to convene today to attempt to elect a head of state for the 13th time during a presidential vacuum that's lasted over 2 years now. But this time, analysts say they might succeed. The primary contenders for the presidency include the Lebanese Army's commander, Joseph Aoun, who is widely seen as the preferred candidate of the United States and Saudi Arabia. The candidate previously supported by Hezbollah, Suleiman Frangieh, on Wednesday announced he was pulling out of the race and endorsed Aoun instead. As always, news and updates continue in a moment right after this very short break. Don't go anywhere.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with Top Rank.
Get it free with single ID.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Well, the 18th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas in Bhubaneswar kick-started with around 6,000 non-resident Indians, including business leaders, economists, philosophers from 75 countries. They've gathered to celebrate and strengthen its relationship with the global Indian community. Here's a sneak peek for you.
As part of the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas program outline, there's one very important and a very interesting program that the External Affairs Ministry runs, which is No India program. And with me are 3 out of the 40 participants of the KIP program that the External Affairs Ministry runs. Thank you so much for all of you to join me in this conversation. And let me start first of all by asking you, where are you from and why were you so interested in applying for KIP?
So I'm from South Africa, and why I applied to the KIP is I'm proudly South African, but I've always wanted to learn more about my Indian heritage. And I found out about this program and took the opportunity to apply, and I had to write a motivational letter, and I'm so grateful to be here, so blessed. It's just rich with culture, and I think for us, not knowing Hindi, not knowing our mother tongue, getting to learn, see, like step onto our Indian soil, it's something you can't explain. It's just incredible.
Wonderful feeling, incredible feeling. How do you express this, and what has been your thoughts ever since you've come?
I think, as she said, it's just like getting to know the culture, embracing all of it, and again, coming to India has been a dream of mine. So, thanks to No India program, it has been successful.
And what motivated you to apply for this?
I just love my culture. I love my Indian culture, and I just wanted to come and have the feel of India itself. Yeah.
And would you then, recommend this to your friends, family, other people?
Yes, of course.
100%.
What about you? What motivated you to apply for this? And are you also from South Africa?
No, I'm from Mauritius Island in the south of the Indian Ocean. Yes. And what motivated me is that I wanted to know more about the Indian culture. That is, our ancestors came from India, and I wanted to explore the culture here in India, the food, the people, everything about India.
And so what all have you learned so far? What all have you been exposed to so far?
So far, we've been exposed to a lot of historical sites. We've been to the Gandhi Museum, which was, I think, knowing that Gandhi was also in South Africa, for us, that was very close. It was very eye-opening to see what he went through and his journey.
Well, thank you for investing your time and watching this edition of The World 24/7. As always, we'll keep tracking the latest updates for you. Do stay tuned.
have been reporting on all issues big and small from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
Download any single ID partner app, link your card and earn reward with top rank.
Get it free with single ID.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Mahakumbh, a festival of faith. The world's biggest spiritual festival. The divine dip at the spiritual Sangam. A sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
We are able to maintain the democratic fabric and the democratic system.
I want to do something that can make a difference.
लगातार जनता की आवाज को सरकार तक पहुंचाने का काम मैं करता हूं.
I was a student up until very recently. I really want to work and do something for my people because they have given me this opportunity. They have elected me.
सोचा नहीं था कि राज्यसभा सांसद बनूंगी.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on people's platform. Please mind the gap. BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track?
Hello everyone, welcome to Breakfast Show. I'm Radhika Ramaswamy joining you from Mumbai. Divya is joining us from Delhi. Divya, a tragic stampede incident in Tirupati leading to deaths. Battleground Delhi also heating up as elections just a few weeks away, and fresh ground zero updates on LA wildfire. All this and more coming up on the show.
That's right. We have a whole lot lined up for you over the next 1 hour, including, like Radhika mentioned, that tragedy that's unfolded during the token distribution on Thursday night at 8 o'clock for offering prayers at Tirupati. So we have all that covered, and of course the LA wildfires. Vishnu joining us all the way from LA to get us a ground report, and of course in that three-cornered battle in Delhi, who will emerge as the winner is the big question. We have BJP's Manjinder Singh Sirsa decoding what is BJP's strategy for Delhi this time around. Let's first get you the headlines. At least 6 devotees have died and dozens have been injured in a stampede that took place at the Tirupati. This is the incident that took place when hundreds of people had been jostling for tickets near the temple. The Chief Minister will be visiting Tirupati today, and it is the Prime Minister who says that he's extremely pained by that incident that's unfolded at Tirupati.
Very unfortunate incident indeed. In fact, the Prime Minister condoles the loss of lives at Tirupati's stampede incident. Pained by Tirupati stampede is what he has said. Andhra Pradesh government providing all assistance.
And 4 days to go as far as the Mahakumbh is concerned. The Chief Minister will be visiting Prayagraj today.
Delhi Chief Minister Atishi on Wednesday wrote to the Chief Election Commissioner raising serious concerns over alleged large-scale voter deletions and additions in the New Delhi Assembly constituency. She seeks an urgent meeting.
And veteran journalist, poet and filmmaker Pritish Nandi has died in Mumbai on Wednesday. He